So what happened to me? This part of my story I pre-recorded because it's an emotional journey. A lot of our paths are from pain to purpose, and mine was a very painful one. The hospital cut my intestine while I was pregnant. I ended up with an abscess that was 18 by 19 centimeters right on top of my uterus. They recommended that I have an abortion, but I explored other options, and my spirit knew that I was meant to have this child. I ended up on TPN, which is all of your nutrition through your bloodstream, nothing by mouth. You can imagine how hard that was during pregnancy. I was given tons of IVs, which made my face really inflamed. I had my son with me, currently now 15 years old, and he was a great support system to keep me motivated and inspired the whole way through. Motivation and support is so important in your times of need, especially if you're hospitalized. You can see bruises here from lack of mobility. Nurses and staff are supposed to move patients every 2 hours with range of motion exercises, and this is rarely done in the hospital. Not only did I have to replace all of my teeth, but I ended up cutting my hair, if not losing much of it, from just lack of nutrition. This was a very special day for me. I ended up getting out of bed even though they said I
First
wouldn't.
time walking
I walked
after
down
the
the hallway
surgery,
with support
getting
from my
ready.
dad, and
My
again
strong
returning
brain,
to
girl.
having a
Let's go.
support
Let's
system,
do
having
it.
an
Let's do
advocate.
it.
Even if you are
My
not
elephant
married or you
nose.
don't have children, it's so important to make sure you have an advocate for when you're going to the hospital, because things can get
We're gonna
lost
go
in
all the way down the
translation.
hall.
You think you're the biggest whale in the sea, but there's many,
It's
many
going strong.
minnows, as it was explained to me. And a lot of your orders get lost in just translation of the wrong orders. So having someone there checking on you is vital for survival in these critical situations. This picture is a very moving picture to me. It was very analogous to my son growing outside of the hospital while I was inside. And this too motivated me, and I knew I was going to get out of the hospital one day. I ended up being transferred through 3 different hospitals, and I ended up being saved at the Cleveland Clinic here. I would walk down this hallway every day to look at this structure being built. And when I was admitted, there was nothing there. And as I stayed, I believe I was there almost 4 months, I saw this high rise be erected. And it was just very emotional because I knew that was my son growing on the outside of the hospital without me. Returning to my yoga practice consistently, staying mobile, trying to do what I can whenever I had the energy. And from that moment on, every day I was stronger. Every day I did just a little bit more. And the secret is having the discipline to strengthen your weakest links. Here's my family that was always there for me. Again, that support, knowing my child was safe. This was my stepmother who was taking care of my children. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where my mind would be. This was my stomach after I ended up with a colostomy bag. And that's my mother. She actually was killed by medical malpractice in 2019 from an overdose on blood thinner. So again, it's just very important to always have support, have an advocate, and really use all of your resources to get a second and a third opinion. My story to healing from these pictures and to where I am today, I ended up, opening my clinic and with all of the tools that I used. So here's a picture of both my children. They were both born early, and why I'm a physical therapist. Physical therapy modalities really took my kids from being quote unquote delayed to quote unquote advanced. So follow me for the rest of this story. And not only did my kids get healthy, but as you can see here in the next series of pictures, so did I. They say that you cannot build back stronger after injury. They say this to athletes all the time, but I say that that's false. I built my mind and body back stronger than ever before. That may not translate to agility and mobility of when I was 20 years old, but it's a different strength that most of us biohackers know.